welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This, chair fixing edition, I guess, because Dad fixed my chair before the podcast started, and now we're ready to go. I'm Juliet, the daughter.
And Kevin, the chair fixing dad.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
And this week, we are talking about the Ultimate Hits Collection, or Disc 1 of said collection, of Ray Charles. So, Dad, what do we need to know about Ray?
We need to know that Ray Charles Robinson was born September 30th, 1930 in Albany, Georgia, and grew up in Greenville, Florida. His father, Bailey, was already married to Mary Jane Robinson, but impregnated Ray's mother, Aretha, who had been adopted by the Robinson family. Aretha left to go back to Albany, Georgia, where Ray was born, and ended up coming back to Greenville, Florida. Ray had a brother, George. When Ray was 5, he witnessed the death of George, who drowned in the wash tub at the age of 4. Ray had tried to save him, but was unable to do so.
Oh, my God.
Soon after, Ray started losing his sight, and by the time he was 7 years old, he was blind, presumably from untreated glaucoma.
Oh.
Ray's mother refused to let him feel sorry for himself. He still had to do chores, and Ray said his mother made him see he could do almost anything anyone else could do. Prior to that, though, Ray was introduced to the piano by Wiley Pittman of the Red Wing Cafe. Mr. Pitt, as Ray called him, would let Ray sit in his lap and bang away on the keys. He subsequently taught Ray how to play. When Ray was 7, he was sent to the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine. He learned Braille and also how to repair radios and car engines.
Oh, cool.
He also received formal piano instruction and learned how to play the alto sax, clarinet, trumpet, and organ.
Whoa.
His primary focus was piano. He also learned how to read and write music. His big influences were Artie Shaw on the clarinet and Art Tatum on piano. His mom died in 1945 when Ray was 14. Ray decided to leave school. He moved to Jacksonville and played piano for bands at the Ritz Theater for over a year. At 16, he moved to Orlando, where he lived in borderline poverty. But he did start writing arrangements for a pop music band. He moved to Tampa and became pianist for Charles Brantley's Honey Dippers, not Honey Drippers. He started his own band when he moved to Seattle with friend Gossie McKee on guitar and Milt Garrett on bass. They called themselves the McSun Trio.
Okay.
In 1949, which was McKee and Robinson mushed together, in 1949 they recorded the song Ray wrote, Confession Blues, which went to number 5 on Billboard's best-selling retail race records chart.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Because it was 1949. Ray signed with Swing Time Records and scored 2 more R&B hits under the name Ray Charles. Swing Time folded in 1952, and Ahmet Ertegun signed Ray to Atlantic Records. Ray was with Atlantic from 1952 to 1959. His first hit was 1953's Mess Around. He started getting more hits, including I Got a Woman and Hallelujah, I Love Her So. He also recorded jazz albums whilst with Atlantic. By 1958, Ray was not only playing at the Apollo Theater, but Carnegie Hall and the Newport Jazz Festival.
Whoa.
Also in 1958, the Raylettes started providing backup on Ray's records and on tour. Ray's Atlantic contract expired in 1959. He signed with ABC Paramount, later acquired by MCA. He got an annual $50,000 advance, a higher royalty rate, and eventual ownership of his master tapes, which is like unheard of at the time.
Yeah.
While at Atlantic, Ray had been hailed for his innovative compositions, but when he got to ABC, he decided he wanted to be a cover artist.
Okay.
His first single was his cover of Georgia on My Mind. It won Grammys for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance and Best Contemporary Song. He won another Grammy for his follow-up hit, Hit the Road Jack. In 1961, he had so much money that he got to do something he always wanted, get his own orchestra.
Oh, cool.
So he hit the road with that when he was on tour. Everything was going well until...
Troublish?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Busted for heroin possession in Indianapolis.
Uh-oh.
But charges were dropped as the police did not have a proper search warrant.
Oh, damn.
But by 1966, Ray had quit heroin cold turkey.
Holy shit, that's not easy to do.
In 1962, Ray recorded Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, along with the second volume of the same name. Both albums integrated soul and country and western. The first volume is considered to be one of the greatest albums of all time. By the 70s, however, Ray's music was rarely on the radio, but he was still recording. He left Paramount in 1974 and re-signed with Atlantic and stayed with them till 1980. And then he felt that, Atlantic at that time, they were concentrating more on rock bands than on like Ray and Aretha.
He's not wrong.
While he was there, his cover of Stevie Wonder's Living for the City nabbed Ray another Grammy in 1977. In 1979, his version of Georgia on My Mind was proclaimed State Song of Georgia.
Correct.
So now we all know which state has the best state song.
Correct. I gotta see if that guy ever did a part 2 for state song rankings. We'll see after this.
Ray signed with Columbia Records in 1983, and while he was there, he released a string of successful country and western albums. In 1985, he participated in USA for Africa's We're the World, and in 1986, he was inducted as part of the inaugural class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Other Hall of Fames Ray is in are the R&B Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Cool.
In 1989, Ray returned to the pop charts, duetting with Billy Joel on Baby Grand.
Oh, you didn't send me that one. Huh.
Well, we haven't gotten to 1989
Oh,
yet.
true, yeah, sorry.
It's also not in his Ultimate Hits collection.
Gotcha, okay.
But you can find it on YouTube if you are so inclined.
I might be, yeah.
Oh, and also in the 80s and early 90s, Ray was known for Diet Pepsi commercials where people look and go, kids, oh yeah, that's the You Got the Right One baby guy.
Yep.
In 1990, he signed with Warner Bros. And got a hit with Shaka Khan for their cover of the Brothers Johnson song, I'll Be Good to You, which Quincy Jones has some involvement. So,
of course.
And that's on the Ultimate Hits collection. I think it's the very last song.
Okay.
That got Ray another Grammy. He's got 18 in all, which include 2 Lifetime Achievement Grammys, because apparently one wasn't enough. Another thing Ray had a lot of?
Kids.
Yep. 12 by 10 women. Nick Cannon is currently tied with Ray, but it only took Nick 6 women to have 12 kids. So I guess he gets points for efficiency. In 2003, Ray had hip replacement surgery. He was planning to go back on tour, but he began having other ailments.
Oh, no.
He died on June 10th, 2004 from complications resulting from liver failure.
Ooh.
He was only 73.
Oh.
2 months later, his final album, Genius Loves Company, was released. It was an album of duets, and it went to #1 on Billboard's Top 200 album charts and went on to win 9 Grammys.
Was it any good? Did you listen to it when it came out?
Haven't listened to it, but it was one of those things where, Frank did his duets album, so everyone decided, hey, let's do a duets album.
Yeah, but I bet Ray didn't half-ass it like Frank did.
No, he was there with the people.
Yeah.
Now, as for me, I've always heard of Ray Charles, obviously. In 1988, I picked up Rhino's one-disc anthology, which I was just starting out, and it covered his ABC Paramount era, and the Atlantic hits were represented by live versions. This confused me because I thought, why aren't there studio versions? Until I learned, oh, yeah, because he was first with Atlantic and then ABC, so what are you going to do? But it's still a really solid set. But still, those Atlantic hits, the studio versions, what do you do? So flash forward to, I think sometime within the past 10 years, I'm at one of the Weaver Library book sales, and there it was on the CD shelf. 1999's Ray Charles Ultimate Hits Collection. 2 discs, 36 songs, excellent condition, $1.
Oh, nice.
And just for S's and G's, which is Shits and Giggles, not Simons and Garfunkel's, I looked up the set on Amazon at the time, and they were only asking $100 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was out of print. Oh, yeah. This is a well-done collection. Chronological order spanning Ray's career from 1953 to 1989. Has a big-ass 48-page book with a mammoth essay, tons of photos, and song credits up the yin-yang. It lists the songwriters, who played on each song, who produced it, what album it's from. I mean, it's got basically everything but the lyrics, but I mean, I was able to look up all the lyrics on the interwebs. So for this episode, we're doing disc 1, which covers Ray's Atlantic years and the start of the ABC years. So let's jump in.
And as for me, I knew Ray because he was the narrator of the audiobook of Chicka Chicka Boom Boom I had growing up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep. So that's how I first knew him. All right, first track, Mess Around. I'm so used to hearing Ray Charles sing as an older man that I thought this was someone else singing. Like, I thought they tricked us and this was Jamie Foxx singing it from that biopic he did. Was that any good, by the way?
That was decent. I mean, it won him Best Actor because there's that thing of like, if you play a famous dead person, automatic Oscar win.
Oh, yeah, he died before that movie came out, didn't he?
I mean, he was working on it, though, and behind the scenes and all that, and yeah.
Yeah, so this is me saying I forgot that Ray used to be young once. Anyway, those opening piano chords sound like someone falling down the stairs. Then from that point on, Ray makes it seem like we're at a party and going to church at the same time. Everybody's at the party doing the mess around and they're getting into it. Ray doesn't say what the moves are, only that you have to stop when he says stop and go when he says go. Think red light, green light in song form. This song is perfect for a party, but as one of the commenters said, don't play this while driving because you might go a little wild.
Okay, this is from Ray Charles, the album.
Yeah.
This was written by either Jesse Stone, who gets credit in the booklet, or Atlantic Records co-founder Ahmet Ertegun, who gets credit everywhere else. So anyone who knows the true story out there, let us know, please. Thank you. So everyone's partying hard at the barbecue, which probably involves, some fermented beverages. So everyone's dancing the mess around, and they're probably messing around too.
Yeah.
Especially that girl with the diamond ring who knows how to shake that thing. She shows up in a later song.
Oh, yeah.
As for Ray's performance, I really listened hard to it, and I thought, well, everyone has to start somewhere.
But it's
and the
great.
thing is, yeah, it's not a bad song. I am not knocking it. It's just that, to me, it really doesn't sound like Ray yet.
No, it doesn't.
If I didn't know it was him singing, I'd really be hard-pressed to identify who it was.
Yeah, I thought it was Jamie Foxx for a hot minute, and they were ghosting us. Or psyching us out. You got any more stuff to say on
No,
this
you
song?
can go ahead.
All right, next track. I've Got a Woman. Okay, that's the Ray I know. I remember this song from Mr. Holland's Opus, where his son Cole, who is deaf, plays this song on full blast on the speakers, and he dangles his feet in front of it so he can feel the vibrations of Ray's music. And as a side note, that's why there's a lot of deaf fans of heavy metal music, because they can feel it in their bones. Anyway, back to Ray. I think this song, aside from being a sensual love song, is also about generosity. She gives Ray her body and heart, but is also there for him when times were rough. When he was down and out, she gave him money and didn't expect anything in return. You gotta be careful with who you give your money to, but if I gave money to Ray Charles, I wouldn't be worried. This would be a fun first dance song at a wedding if you took swing classes and wanted something more upbeat.
This is also from Ray Charles. It was written by Ray and his trumpeter Ronald Richard. It went to #1 on Billboard's R&B chart. Now, Ray built this song on a gospel tune called It Must Be Jesus by the Southern Tones. And I remember reading somewhere, I wish I could remember where it was, that some people were scandalized that Ray would take a gospel song and turn it into the devil's music. Anyway, Ray's got a woman way over town who's good to him, gives him money, saves her loving just for him, never grumbles or fusses. He knows that he's hit the jackpot because obviously she's a saint. The woman's a saint.
Happens to be the only saint I know.
As soon as Ray sings the first word, which is a stretched out well,
Yep.
you automatically know it's him. It just cannot be anyone else.
And that's gonna be good.
Yeah. I've Got a Woman is considered one of the prototypes of soul music, and Ray is looked on as one of soul's founding fathers, along with James Brown.
Yeah, I was about to say.
If you go to Wikipedia's soul music page, Ray's is the first photograph that you see.
Of course.
He combined blues, rhythm and blues, and gospel, et voila, as the French would say, soul. And this also could have been the starting point for Ray's nickname, The Genius. And he got that name because he had an ability to blend all genres of music into a seamless whole. And Frank Sinatra himself later said that Ray was the only true genius in showbiz.
Hey, you might have been right.
There's tons of covers out there, and I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that the first version I ever heard of this song was
Robert Plant with the Honey Drippers.
The Honey Drippers covers. You gotta start somewhere.
He does fine. I just think it's too polished. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's singing the notes right, but it's not Ray.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, Ahmet Ertegun, who had a hand in Ray's career, also helped produce the Honey Drippers album, Volume 1. Never followed up with a Volume 2.
Next track, A Fool for You. And now we get into the blues because Ray is sad. His woman told him up front that she doesn't love him and doesn't want him around anymore. but he's not over it. He's a fool for her. What hurts even more is he's known her since they were 5, so they've been in each other's lives forever, childhood sweetheart to adult romance. The way Ray screams is painful, but emotionally, not vocally, something that came from his gut. Side note, it's impressive his voice lasted as long as it did, considering how he put everything into it all those years and didn't hold back. The part of his song that smarts the most is when he talks about how he reaches for the pillow where his baby used to lay and cries like he never cried before. This is a song for when you're down in the dumps over a breakup and you just need to let it all out.
This is also from Ray Charles. A lot of these songs are from the album Ray Charles. It could have almost been like a best of right there. This was written by Ray, and first he's got a woman, then he doesn't.
Yeah.
But she's got a man across town, and she's told Ray she doesn't want him, doesn't love him anymore, but he's still a fool for her, like you said, ever since they were kids. And then Ray addresses us, as he asks, have we ever cried like we never did before, so loud we gave the next door neighbor the blues? I mean, that's crying.
I have, yeah. Oh.
That's probably why Buddy and Diane were sad for a while.
Because they could hear me all the way across the street.
Probably. Yeah, Ray's got the blues bad, and he just gets it across with his voice. I think he gets it more with his voice than with the slow music. And yeah, come to think about what you just said, it is amazing that he still had his voice all those years.
Yeah. Next track, Greenbacks. To me, this is a less lethal version of the Traveling Wilburys Last Night. Ray meets a cute girl named Flo who doesn't want to spend the night with him until he introduces her to Mr. Lincoln. She says it's a start, but she wants to see Lincoln and Jackson shaking hands. So she wants 5 times what Ray was originally going to pay. He obliges, but she runs to the restroom saying, "Oh, I need to powder my nose," and leaves him in the dust, taking his money. Moral of the story? Insist on payment after service is complete. I think the song has a good mix of spoken word and singing, and it tells a good story. And I love how my moral of the story was don't solicit a hooker. It was like, no. Have the service and then pay afterward. Yep.
Okay, this is also from Ray Charles. This is written by Ronald Richard. So Ray's walking down the street and he sees a woman, asks her name, but she doesn't play that game until she sees Ray pull out a Lincoln from his pocket. Then she relents just a little and she says her name's Flo. And if Ray wants to, quote, have fun in this man's land, unquote, she needs to see Lincoln, as Tom Brokaw would say, and Jackson shaking hands.
Well, that's where you get the Lincoln from.
Yep.
I never knew that. Continue.
So Ray does so. He doesn't mind partying with them because he knows he's going to have some fun.
And he's Ray Charles, so he can afford it.
So they hit a nightclub. There's a little dining, a little dancing, and then she says she has to go powder her nose.
We dance, we kiss, you smooth, we go home together. What do you say?
She never comes back. And Ray has tears in his eyes because he's waved bye to Lincoln and Jackson. Because $25 was a lot of dough back then.
You know something, though? I can't believe I'm saying this. If you saw this happen to Ray Charles or just anybody, like a passerby would look at him and go, "Oh my God, who made that blind man cry? They must be such a bitch."
So, yeah.
Just bitter in the ass.
So Ray raps the verses like the smooth talker that he thinks he is. But on the short chorus, he and the band go all out. A cautionary yet hilarious tale, and I do have to ask, if you are aware, like when you go in the women's room, do women still powder their noses? Why would they powder their nose? Is it to prevent like light glinting off?
Yeah, if you touched up your makeup, you could put on some foundation in case your skin gets oily and it's gleaming. But I haven't seen that. The only powder I could think of with the nose is that scene in the bathroom in Pulp Fiction with Uma Thurman.
Okay.
I haven't seen that happen in a bathroom, though.
There's one more song that I got to mention. This song, Greenbacks, reminded me of a song called Dead Presidents. And it's just about how money can get you certain things.
Yeah.
The only version I have is by the Jay Giles Band, but I'm sure there's lots of other versions out there. And yeah, Last Night, Traveling Wilburys, I can definitely see that.
Question before we get to the next track. Ray and James Brown are the godfathers of soul. Has Ray been sampled as much by rappers as James Brown has been?
I don't believe so,
okay,
No, because James was all about the beats.
That's right. Okay. Next track, Drown in My Own Tears. Ray's woman left him for so long, and he's been crying so long, he guesses he'll just drown in his own tears. It's his version of, guess I'll just die. The screams he does are so full of pain and anguish. They're easily the best part of the song, and that's really all I have to say.
This is also from
Ray Charles.
Very good.
Oh my God.
This was written by Henry Glover and first recorded by Lula Reed back in 1951. There's lots of covers out there, but Ray's is the most famous. And the title, pretty much sums up the lyric content. Ray's performance, though, is as bluesy as all get out.
Yep.
I mean, the man is feeling it. And at the end, uncredited backup singers come in, which influenced Ray to come up with the Raelettes. So that's pretty much the big significance of this song.
Next track, Hallelujah, I Love Her So. This is an ode not just to the generosity of a partner, but also to the love language acts of service. When Ray says she tells him she loves him, it's through her gestures. From bringing him coffee every morning in his favorite cup, to being a true friend, to answering his phone calls when he's lonely and coming over, to telling him everything will be all right, he knows that she's the one. Everyone in a healthy relationship with a partner can relate to this. We all have a memory of our partner doing a small gesture that meant the world to us. I think of that story about when Mom was having dinner with your family and Uncle Andy got a cup of coffee and he was really, really happy, and Mom's like, "Oh, that's sweet." It makes you smile at Ray's happiness because you can share it together. Very pretty song.
This is also from
Ray Charles.
Yes.
Oh.
And this was written by Ray. I kind of look at this song, you can almost call it I Got a Woman Part 2. Because once again, Ray's hit the jackpot and he wants the world to know it. And on the song's last line, Ray references the song, I'm a Fool for You. And again, I remember just people really being upset. More so with Hallelujah, I Love Her So than I've Got a Woman. Because how dare Ray use that word in praise of a woman instead of God. But Ray wasn't bothered by it at all. It was just a joyous tune.
With how many kids he had, I bet he was saying Hallelujah over and over. Next track, Lonely Avenue. I think this song does a good job of describing the heaviness of depression with the pillow that feels like stone and the covers that feel like lead. It's not that your bed feels comforting when you're depressed, it's just that you can't physically get up. And Ray has a reason to, because the woman he was going to marry broke off the engagement, so now the whole world feels dark and dreary. And he could cry or die, but he doesn't have the energy to do either. This guy has got it bad. Poor Ray, I hope he feels better.
This is from?
Ray Charles.
No, this is from Yes Indeed.
Oh, phew, we moved past it. Yay!
This was written by Doc Pomus, and it was Doc's national breakthrough. He'd go on to team up with Mort Schumann, and they'd write immortal songs that got them into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, such as Save the Last Dance for Me. Oh. So since Ray broke up with his baby, he found a tale to tell. No, he's not at Heartbreak Hotel. He's on Lonely Avenue. And I like how Ray's voice follows the rhythm accenting the beat, da-da, da-da, da-da-da, which has a start-stop quality to it. It's like a very stripped-down blues, and the Raelettes definitely make their presence known on this track.
All right, Lonely Avenue, we go from that to Ain't That Love.
Ain't it?
I hope so. This feels like an earlier version of Reach Out, I'll Be There. And it's a testimonial, like a church spiritual. I think, though, people can relate to the first part of the song, even if you're not in a romantic relationship. When someone's crying and you could cry too, people feel that type of connection with their kids or their friends. I think an interesting angle to sing this song would be a parent singing to a teenager who's grown distant but is clearly struggling.
And they'll still roll their eyes like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassing. I wish they'd died.
However, I know Ray means to sing this song in the romantic sense. That abrupt ending on the O took me by surprise, but maybe that sense of finality is intentional. Like he sees she's not listening and he gives up. Interesting choice to end on that makes me wonder why they did it that way.
Okay, and this is from?
Yes, whatever he said.
Oh, Ray Charles.
Oh, what? Oh, it's back.
Yeah. But this is the last one from that album.
Okay.
This is written by Ray, and basically he's showing his devotion to his baby. When she sighs, he'll sigh too. Same when she cries, he'll cry too. Now, ain't that love? Ain't it?
I guess, yeah.
Well, either that, he's an empath. The thing is, like, if it wasn't for Ray's voice, you could almost mistake this for a Jackie Wilson song, what with the almost soulless background vocals. It says they're credit to the Raelettes, but I swear there's guys in the mix too. It's an okay song.
Next track, Nighttime is the Right Time. My first note. John Adams would appreciate this song as someone who doesn't believe in doing it in the middle of the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Not everyone's from Boston, John. Well, I don't know if he was mad about that or it just never occurred to him.
There's a proper place and time for these things to be done.
Yeah, but also I think part of it was like that just never occurred to him, and it broke his brain a little bit that other people would consider that as a possibility.
Because it's the daytime and you can see, like, things that you probably shouldn't see.
Not if the shutters are closed. Oh my, so they are. Anyway, this is for that person who is daydreaming at work about everything they're going to do with their partner when they get back home. But then there's a tonal shift as Ray talks about how his mother died and his father left him. Maybe having someone in his life who loves him now is a difference like night and day or something. Then Margie starts singing with such a rocky edge to her voice that you sit up straight wondering, who is that? She sounds amazing, and I love how this became a duet. Now it's nighttime, he's home, and we get to hear what she wants. It is passionate, and I'm so glad Ray featured her on this song. They work together wonderfully well as a pair.
This is from The Genius Sings the Blues. This is written by Napoleon Brown, Ozzy Cadena, and Lou Herman. Nighttime is the right time to be with the one you love, and that's the majority of the song. It's Ray's song for about a minute and a half. Then he says, "Sing your song, Margie." And Ray let Margie Hendricks comes in and just steals this song from Ray.
Yep.
And she means it.
Mm-hmm.
And she and Ray had a 6-year affair, so that probably helped with the conviction in her voice.
Did he ever marry?
He was married twice.
Okay.
And Ray was very convincing too. He comes back to finish it, but, he ain't no Margie. And she really makes this song. And I, like probably a lot of other people, first heard this song on The Cosby Show.
Yeah, you sending me that clip, it felt very weird to watch in the year of our Lord 2025.
It kind of does, because you see him come up and take his turn, and it's just like, oh my God, I know so much stuff about you now.
I know everything you did.
Yes.
Oh.
But it's
Everybody else was fine, though. But yeah, that clip is, I think that show's forever tainted now.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
It's a good clip, though. Kind of, I guess.
If he wasn't in it, it'd be easier to watch.
I don't know if could he be digitally removed? Someone probably did it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably it. There's probably a version of The Cosby Show out there with Bill erased in every episode.
That would have to be some incredible editing.
You know what?
What?
No, that wouldn't work.
What? What are you going to say? Well, he's thinking now.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
No.
Never mind.
Just
Next.
let it lie.
Yes.
Next track. What'd I say? Parts 1 and 2.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything, but Ray did. This song is just one big jam session that happened to be recorded, but the fact that we get to listen to a jam session being done by Ray Charles of all people, that's kind of an honor. No, it is an honor. The Arkansas lyric is the only silly one out of the bunch. Does this song have a point? No, but who cares? What's also really fun is that if you go on YouTube, Rhino put out an official lyric video for this song that's in the style of Technicolor construction paper, and it's really fun. I would say, though, that my favorite part is part 2 when he engages in vocal back and forth with the Raylettes, and it has the same energy as the live show. That's why it's my favorite.
This is from What I Say. It was written by Ray. Now, this started out as a live improv, and audiences went nuts, so Ray decided to record it. It was his first top 40 song, going all the way to number 6, and it was added to the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry in 2002.
Apparently, though, it was also kind of like a happy accident because there was a YouTube commenter, I can't verify it or not. Apparently, Ray was supposed to perform something. They forgot what it was. He looks at the band and he just goes, "Follow my lead." And this was born.
Yeah, like I said, it was a live improv.
Yep.
But before that...
What?
Troublish.
Why?
Well, it was 6.5 minutes long, and Atlantic was worried about the sounds on part 2.
Oh,
the uhs and the uhs.
Those are very convincing.
They were worried about those sounds that Ray and the Raylettes were making during the song.
But they're very good.
Now, to solve the first problem, engineer Tom Dowd split the song into parts 1 and 2 to fit on the 45. As for the second, according to Ray, I'm not one to interpret my own songs, but if you can't figure out what I'd say, then something's wrong. Either that or you're not accustomed to the sweet sounds of love. Black and white radio stations banned What I Say because it started in church and wound up in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
But despite all that, it still became a huge hit. And Ray closed every show he did with this song. And he
That's
said
fun.
that when you heard it, you knew his show was over. No extra songs,
No
no
curtain call.
no encores, show's over,
Go
period.
home.
Go home, get the hell out.
Okay, Ray, I'll leave.
Now, Ray plays electric piano on this, which probably is causing Freddie Mercury to spin a little faster.
Why?
Oh, Freddie hated
Oh, I didn't know
electric.
that.
Yeah, remember when we did, My Best Friend?
Oh,
John wrote
yeah.
it, and he wanted to be on electric piano, and Freddie absolutely
Just wouldn't
refused.
do it. That's right.
So John taught himself to play electric piano.
That's right. Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Yep. And the reason was Ray started playing electric piano on the road because he didn't trust the tuning and qualities of pianos provided to him at every venue. I'd like to think eventually, like, he had so much money he could bring his own piano
Oh,
and tuner.
sure.
Yep.
He could afford to have one smashed up and buy a new one the next night.
But yeah, he could go Pete Townsend on it.
Yeah.
I got to give a special shout out to drummer Milt Turner. His drumming, especially his ride cymbal work, is just amazing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, it starts off with about a minute and a half instrumental. Then Ray comes in, and at one point he sings about the girl with the diamond ring who knows how to shake that thing from back and mess around.
Mm-hmm.
I told you she'd be back. Anyway, there's a false ending at the 4-minute, 20-second
Yes.
mark.
Yep.
Then the Raylets come in for, I'd call it down and dirty call and response.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing ends with just Ray feeling all right.
Yeah.
If you feel all right, he feels all right. What I'd say has been covered a lot.
Really?
A lot. And I sent you the versions by Bobby Darin and Jerry Lee Lewis
Oh, yeah.
because the two that I have.
Jerry was surprisingly reined in.
I think because there was like the whole marrying his 13-year-old cousin controversy, and it was like, okay, we got to make him a little more
Palatable.
I suppose.
And Bobby was okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like Jerry Lee's better than Bobby's, but Ray cannot be touched.
No.
And I have to admit, the first time I ever heard this song was when John Belushi did it on Saturday Night Live
He did an excellent impression.
as Beethoven. For some reason, you cannot find the whole thing on YouTube, which is weird because they do have an SNL channel, and I was just only able to send you fragments of it.
Maybe you can write it and ask for it or something. I don't know. Okay, but you made me think of an interesting hypothetical. Okay, you know how Ray Charles had that duets album? Picture this. We live in the ultimate timeline where Freddie Mercury didn't succumb to AIDS and he's still alive. Hooray! Now, if Freddie was approached by Ray Charles to do something for fun, and the only catch was Freddie had to play electric piano, would he suck it up and do it, or would he say, "Screw you, no"?
He'd probably suggest for Ray to play the electric piano.
That's very true. Okay.
There was a skit on SNL when Ray was hosting Saturday Night Live, and it was about What I'd Say, and they were talking about, well, we've got this group called the Young Caucasians that are gonna cover this,
Oh, no.
and then Ray plays his version, and they tell him, nah, that's never gonna fly.
But then it did.
Anyway, next.
Don't let the sun catch you crying. Me, as soon as I heard those opening notes, oh God, is this song gonna make me cry? But no, instead I was nodding my head in understanding. Ray's woman put him through hell, and now she's realizing exactly what she did. She comes back to his front door, crying, but he is firm and lays down the law. She did him dirty and doesn't want her anymore, so now she needs to leave. It's not sad per se, but it's someone who's tired and burned and done, and now he needs to establish firm boundaries because he can't go through this again. A song that makes you want to smoke a cigarette and nod along as he sends her away.
This is from The Genius of Ray Charles. This was written by Joe Green and first recorded by Louis Jordan and his Symphony 5 in 1946. And I sent you, I think I sent you that song.
Which one?
Don't Let the Sun
Oh,
Catch You
yes,
Crying.
yes, you did.
This is the last song on this disc to represent Ray's Atlantic Records years. And it's kind of also a preview of things to come at ABC Paramount. But, don't be crying at Ray's front door because you, yes, you, the listener, done him dirty and he's turned salty. And good Lord, the man is so smooth with his delivery on this song. I mean, everything on this song is smooth. I have Louis Jordan's original version and I've heard it a lot, but it takes a backseat to Ray's cover.
Next track, Them That Gut. Ray is down and out for the count financially. He has threadbare shoes, he's ducking his landlord, and he's going hungry. He doesn't understand how the people who already have so much wealth keep accumulating more and more. And frankly, that's a mystery we're all still trying to solve. It gets to the point where Ray is so frustrated he just stops singing altogether and starts venting. Something tells me he speaks from experience pre-fame. Good song about the frustration as to why the rich keep getting richer and we all seem to stay where we are.
This is from Ray Charles's Greatest Hits and was written by Richie, Harper, and Ray. Ray's down to his last pair of shoes and ducking out his landlord. Don't get any ideas.
No.
Them that's got are them that gets, and Ray's trying to figure out how just to get his first. And this song swings easy, and Frank Sinatra must have been jealous.
Oh, yeah. Next track, Sticks and Stones. A bunch of insecure people are hurling insults about Ray and his relationship, sneering that surely won't last. But as he says, despite the abuse he's gone through and what people say to make him feel shame, he's not going to give in because he loves her and they're going to be together forever. That final scream is one of insistence. This song is a good rewrite of Sticks and Stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. For Ray, he won't let the words hurt him. He's too much in love. And it's also just people who are just probably jaded from their past relationships that when they see other people happy, it just triggers them. And they're like, oh, I can't have this because I'm miserable, so you got to be miserable too. And it's like, piss off.
This is from Ray Charles's Greatest Hits. And yeah, people are trying to break up Ray and his baby. And he says sticks and stones may break his bones, but talk doesn't bother him. And yeah, there are people like that. I'm miserable, you're happy. I need company, so I'm going to do whatever I can to break you two up. Either that, or it's someone who wants either Ray or his baby. So they're figuring, they're doing you wrong, and then I'll just move in and save the day.
That's the difference between jealousy and envy. Envy is when you wish you had something that someone else did and you feel bad about it. Jealousy is, I wish I had what they have and I'm going to do everything to take it from them or make it worse.
And I think musically, you could mash this up with What I Say.
Okay. All right, next track. Georgia on My Mind. The state song that puts the others to shame, except Oklahoma. I was pissed when... What?
So is Oklahoma the official state song of Oklahoma?
It is. There's a video about how they made that change, and apparently there were some, this is the phrase I'm going to use, some crusty old fogies who were like, we cannot have this song, the one that we have is so important to us, and they were crying and crying, but they're like, no, this song that these guys in New York wrote, it absolutely slaps, and we should totally make it our song.
It slaps.
Yeah, so, and then it's now the state song of Oklahoma. Anyway, Georgia on My Mind, I was pissed when Spotify temporarily took this song down. But now it's back. I guess enough angry people wrote in. So this is the definitive version, and Ray being from Georgia, he sings this with all his heart. The backup singers also supplement the song without detracting from Ray's performance, and they give this a full orchestral arrangement to convey Ray's love for his home. I think the lyric, other arms reach out to me and other eyes smile tenderly, is a reference to all the other lovely places Ray got to visit and tour across his career. But while the places we visit are beautiful in their own ways, The Wizard of Oz was right. There's no place like home with the comfort and peace you feel when you get back. Sometimes anyway. I used to think the lyric was, but her arms reach out to me, like he can never fully leave it behind. That would have been an interesting take, too.
This is from the album The Genius Hits the Road, which was a concept album where basically there was going to be a place name in the title of every song. Anyway, this was written by Hoagie Carmichael and Stuart Sorrell in 1930. And there's two theories about this song. It's either about Hoagie's sister Georgia or the state itself.
Well, I think it's taken on the state meaning now. This is a state song.
I'd kind of go with the former, though, because of those lines. Other arms may reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. And I think, well, he's going to be true to Georgia. Because I can't imagine the state doing that until we get to the Jimmy Carter video, which we'll talk about soon.
That was weird.
And so since it's been around since 1930, there's been like a kabillion versions out there.
Oh, sure.
But Ray's, of course, is definitive. You just cannot imagine anyone else doing it.
No.
But that doesn't stop others from trying or ripping it off.
Like what?
The Loathsome Eagles copied the string intro for their piano version to their piano intro to Desperado.
Oh. Okay, well, I haven't listened to that song,
You're
so
lucky.
I wouldn't know.
You're lucky. If we ever do Linda Ronstadt's Greatest Hits, she does a cover, and it's like the only version that should be allowed to exist. Ray's version sets the mood. It's kind of wistful and kind of melancholy. It's just perfect, and so perfect that, like we said before, in 1979, and I can't believe it took that long, the state of Georgia designated Ray's version as their official state song, and so now, once again, we know which state has the best state song ever, period.
Along with Oklahoma.
Now, that's number 2.
Yeah, they're tied for first in my opinion.
And here's the thing. When I was a sophomore in high school, I remember there was an assembly for something about careers. Like, think about what you want to do. Maybe you want to do animation. And we were shown a claymation cartoon of Jimmy Carter singing Georgia.
They showed you that for animation?
They showed us that.
Are you shitting me? There's so many other examples they could have pulled.
Well, the thing was like this song had come out in this cartoon had come out in 1977, so it was recent. It was brand new. And I believe I was a sophomore in 1977. So that was it. You can find it on YouTube. And I know you said that you looked at the state of Georgia represented in the video as a MILF.
Yeah.
But I think it would be more of a SILF.
Oh, God. Oh, this is why you have to watch the video to understand what we both mean when we both said those words.
Yeah, just type in Georgia, Jimmy, the C.
This is why some things should not be anthropomorphized.
Yeah.
But you know what I will say, though, just to end on that note, that's probably what Jimmy Carter was feeling on those days in the White House that were really, really rough. The poor guy just probably wanted to go back to the peanut farm and build houses for people who needed them.
He probably did. Let's move on.
Yep, next track. Ruby. My first note, ooh, those strings. This is a sweet and tender love ballad. Everyone warns Ray about Ruby. She's just a dream, a fantasy. He knows that may be true, but he loves her anyway, so he's gonna sing about it. And I think this is the first track where we've heard him croon without any bluesy grit. I love letting the music flow over me as I gently swayed. It felt very dreamy, almost as much as she is.
This is from Dedicated to You. It was written in 1952 by Mitchell Paris and Heinz Rohmheld for the movie Ruby Gentry, starring Jennifer Jones as the title femme fatale who may have committed murder.
Ooh.
It was first recorded by Les Baxter, and there's been lots of covers. Ray's came out in 1960, and his is the best known. Ruby's like a dream, but not what she seems. Uh-oh. She's also like a song, but doesn't know right from wrong. Again, uh-oh.
Is this supposed to be Ray's version of Laura?
I don't know, because... Have you seen the movie Laura?
I have not. Is it any good?
It's very, very good. I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
But you need to see Laura.
I have heard the song, though. It's very lovely.
Yeah, in the movie,
Of Ruby or Laura?
Ruby.
Okay.
Charlton Heston is the love interest.
Okay.
Carl Malden is the competition. It's a little complicated.
Okay.
So Ray knows heartaches are coming, and he's just helpless under her spell, even though he knows he should beware because he may have to do things that she might want him to do that he probably shouldn't do.
But he might do it for her.
Yeah, I killed him for love. Maybe, maybe not.
I just watched that Simpsons episode. Please let me kill for you, Marge. No, homie.
The song's pleasant enough, but... And your mom's gonna not be happy with this.
Because it's her favorite Ray Charles song.
It really doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, she loves this song, and I asked her why, and she just likes the sound of it.
Could it be a gender thing, do you think, or no?
I really don't. You'd have to ask her.
Okay.
Because she told me, but I kind of forgot because you get to my age and you just forget stuff.
Next track.
Every time I learn something new, something old gets pushed out.
Next track. I think one of my favorites on the album, One Mint Julep.
It's everyone's favorite.
Utter perfection. This is why Quincy Jones got paid the big bucks. This is just a pure jazz instrumental that is absolutely wonderful. And the fact that they were best friends definitely helps because Quincy knew how to bring out the best sound for Ray. I mean, did Ray technically write the music for this because it was an instrumental based on a song with lyrics? I know Quincy arranged the whole thing. Okay. But I was jamming the whole time. I love this piece. And that coffee commercial you sent me, I thought it was used really well in there.
It was.
Hip and sophisticated.
Mm-hmm. This is from Genius plus Soul equals Jazz. Mm-hmm. This album was put out on ABC's Impulse Jazz label. It was written by Rudy Toombs and first recorded by the Clovers in 1952 with words.
Mm-hmm.
There have been over 100 cover versions, some instrumental, some of the lyrics. Ray's instrumental version brought One Mint Julep to the masses. It hit #1 on the R&B chart and #8 on the top 40.
Thanks, Quincy.
And Ray plays organ and just kind of lets the band take over. And yes, Quincy Jones did the arrangement. It's hip daddy-o, so don't be L7, just dig it, man. And Quincy will show up at the very end of this too.
Yes, he will.
And for those of you around in the 80s, you might have first heard this song on the Maxwell House Capio commercial. It was kind of like bottled cappuccino.
Basically, it was bottled fancy coffee drinks before Starbucks started bottling their drinks and selling them in supermarkets.
Yeah, so go look it on YouTube. The animation is great.
It is.
It's kind of reminiscent of this artist whose name is Shag, which stands for Josh Agel. And he kind of does like this hip daddy-o art, which is just fantastic. And
It is.
It looks pretty much like his style. I don't know if he worked on it or if they just appropriated it or what. But anyway.
I do have one story about Ray and Quincy really quick since
Go
we're
ahead.
on this. This was when Ray got inducted in the Kennedy Center Honors. Quincy's talking about how he comes over to Ray's house. Ray's cooking dinner. It smells wonderful. And Quincy says to Ray, "It smells good, Ray, but can you turn on the lights so I can eat?" Because he goes in there and it's all dark and he can't see anything.
I guess he saved a lot on his electric bill.
Yeah, probably. But Ray was laughing. He thought it was funny. Final track, I've Got News for You, which is also the title of a British television program out in the UK. Ray finds out his girl hasn't been straight with him about a few things, and boy, has he got a surprise for her. I think the song is fine. He performs it well and uses his piano to convey his pain. And I get that it's supposed to be in chronological order, but closing on 1 Mint Julep would have ended this with a bang.
I suppose, but, you've got so many minutes on a CD, and I think Rhino want to take advantage of it. And I like this song. I've got news for you. Also from Genius Plus Soul equals Jazz. Written by Roy Alford and arranged by...
Quincy?
No, Ralph Burns.
Oh.
There were he and Quincy both did arrangements on this album. They kind of like took turns.
Oh, were they also friends?
I don't know.
Oh.
I like to think they were. They both worked on the album together, and I didn't read any stories about any punch-ups or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ray meets a woman whose stories just don't ring true. She's not as innocent as she's trying to be. The best verse, and I have to quote the entire thing, quote, "Oh, you wore a diamond watch, claimed it was from Uncle Joe. When I looked at the inscription, it said, 'Love from Daddy-o,' unquote." Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And, Daddy-o, it's hip, man.
Yep.
Anyway, this is from Ray's jazz album, but it kind of strikes me more as a blues, but it's also a hilarious blues at that. And, it's also Ray, so, he could do whatever he wanted. It's fine. He wants to call it jazz. Okay, it's jazz. Doesn't bother me.
Overall, I love Ray Charles. His music is so comforting for me. Even though he's singing the blues, it brings me joy to hear it. If you haven't listened to Ray before, I think that this disc of this volume is the perfect place to start. But also, you probably grew up listening to him in childhood because he did a lot of stuff with Sesame Street and with the Muppets. Easy Being Green, Singing with Elmo, etc., etc. Put this on and get ready either to go to church or sway. And I do have one final Ray Charles story before you get into this.
Go ahead.
Carol Burnett does a chapter of her memoir where when her middle daughter Jody was a little girl, Ray Charles was performing on TV, and her daughter just sees Ray and freezes, and she goes up and kisses the TV and goes, "I love you." So then the next day, the plumber comes over to the house to fix the sink, and she's trying to talk to the plumber, this little kid, and she goes, "You know Ray Charles is my husband?" And he goes, "No kidding." And she's like, "Yeah, he's blind, so I need to help him out and lead him everywhere." So cut to years later, Ray's a guest on the variety show. Carol tells him this story. He finds it hilarious, and he's like, "Is Jody going to be here tonight?" And she goes, "Yeah, sometimes she comes to the tapings." So Jody's in the dressing room, has no idea who the guest star is. Ray comes in and goes, "Is my little Jody here?" Jody doesn't move. And Carol says, "Jody, this is Ray." And she just runs up to him and starts kissing his face, and she hugs him, and everybody in the room starts crying.
Aw.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Isn't that sweet?
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Carol said to Ray when she told that story, she's probably your youngest wife, which he thought was hilarious. He actually he had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I gotta say, he definitely had a sense of humor, like those Diet Pepsi commercials. Well, like, I sent Juliet 2 of them. One of them was, he's talking about, "Oh, I love Diet Pepsi," and someone puts a can of Diet Coke in his hand.
But he drinks it and goes, "All right, who's the wise guy?" He can tell.
Yep.
Anyway.
And we will be back next time with part 2. And I gotta say, for the first disc, it's an awesome representation of his Atlantic years. Because I was looking at like a lot of collections, and whoever culled these Atlantic tracks did an outstanding job. These are like the seminal or very necessary Atlantic records tracks that you need to hear.
All right, as always, thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz, because remember, the more you interact with the video, the greater chance we have of appearing on the YouTube homepage. And our Kiss video is actually sort of blowing up a little bit, but people seem to like it, so that's good. If you follow me on social media, I post the episodes there. If you're friends with Dad, tell him what you want to listen to, and he can send you an email with the episode right to your inbox. Thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. We'll be back next time with another album to pick and gripe about. But Dad, or rather, back with part 2 of the Ray collection. And Dad, anything you have to say before we sign off?
Yeah, what'd I say? What did I say? Tell me. You know, if I have to get up, you kids are gonna get it.
Put your coo in the seat and lean forwards and eat?
That sounds good.